Good evening, Guru.
Hello, Guru. Good evening.
Yeah, 6:30.
Good evening, Toastmasters, esteemed guests, and all you fellow souls. It's a pleasure once again to be in front of all of you on this wonderful Friday evening. Glad to be here. Couple of things not going our way again. We are seeing ourselves again facing a similar situation to what we did in 2020. But nevertheless, we have each other to make it much better like we did before. Talking about summer, right? It's about summer right now, the peak of summer. Brings back few memories, especially because I'm right now in Kerala. So at this place where I was, had some very fond memories because one thing being Malayali that I would look forward to when I come for my summer break, for my summer break to Kerala would be my grandmother's fish preparation, right? She would prepare the most delicious fish. She would marinate it the previous night. She would then cook it in the banana leaf. And then I would remember all 3 meals, we would eat nothing but fish, right? And it is something that cannot be compared to anything that we've had before because, always your grandmother's preparation is the best. Connecting that all my summers, right? I'm trying to figure out how can I get that feeling as I was growing up. And I think something closest to that, what I got was in summer of 2020, right? Because that's when officially I became part of Toastmasters. My summers were special, of course, for the fish, but more because I was with family again. I was amongst people I felt supported by. I felt supported, I felt encouraged by, and I felt at home. And that's what really I got when I came to Toastmasters. So I know that I haven't got fish again at Toastmasters, but Sureka ma'am more than makes up for all of her delicacies, right? And I'm really looking forward to be able to come back and enjoy that. So remembering my family, cherishing every moment and every teaching that you have given me and every opportunity, I hand over the next set of this meeting to who we can fondly call as the father of our club or the president of our club, Mr. Ayappa. Thank you so much for everything that you've given me and given us as a community. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shagari. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Welcome you all.
Good evening.
Welcome you all to this wonderful evening here in Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Before I proceed, I declare the meeting number 1266 open. I request your secretary, Toastmaster Kamlish, to present the minutes of the last meeting. Toastmaster Kamlish, please.
Thank you, Appa. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to give the highlights of the last minutes of the meeting. The meeting started exactly on time, as usual, and we had an exciting theme of the day, and it was we fall down only to rise up. We had 49 members and guests together, and there are a number of awardees for the evening. And best tag team player was Toastmaster Raghavendra and Amit. Best role taker was the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sanjay Rao, and best evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Alan Arana, and the best speaker was Toastmaster Puneet Raj. We had a business meeting as well, and thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Kamlesh. Dear members, can we pass the minutes, please?
Yes.
Thank you. With that note, I declare the minutes of the last meeting passed. So we have a few wonderful guests in our meeting today. We have Jasna, we have Swamiraj. I would like, due to the paucity of the time, I request one or two guests to stand up and just give one or two lines about your introduction. Can we have Jasna, please? Swamiraj, you there? Okay, I think all are busy. So on behalf of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, I take this privilege and honor to extend a warm welcome to all our wonderful guests. Let's unmute and give them a good round of applause.
Hello all, I'm Jasna. I'm sorry, my mic setting has to be a little difficult, so that's why it took some time for me to come.
All right, yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm myself Jasna. I'm a software engineer. Currently, I'm staying in Whitefield. long before lockdown, I do try to join in the Toastmaster, but then things went down. So I'm very excited, and this was my second session, and so far I enjoyed. And I'm looking back to connect with you all. And actually, last session I learned a lot, and it's very interesting. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Jasna. Let's give Jasna and all our guests a good round of applause. If you have if you need any information with regards to club or joining formality, how to join our club, you can get in touch with your Vice President Membership, Toastmaster Hannah Victoria.
Thank you.
Thank you. Getting nostalgic and reminiscing allows us to take a look at how good we have had it. Those were the beautiful days in my life, especially the summer holidays during my childhood days. We would be eagerly waiting for our annual final exam result to be out. And it used to be always on April 10th. After that, almost 40 days of summer vacation. First 20 days we booked to my maternal granny's house. And those 20 days would be amazing. I usually used to spend in my maternal granny's house most of the time. They have a big veranda. It's just like, big playground. We used to play there from the morning to evening, except, believe it or not, except apple and grapes. They used to have all kinds of fruits in their estate. Hardly we used to have lunch. We used to climb trees, pluck whatever fruit we would need to eat. They had a beautiful lake. Afternoon we used to go for swimming. By the time we enter the house in the evening, it would be 8 in the evening. That too, someone had to literally push us inside. Otherwise, we'd be outside. If I reflect and look back, I feel very happy about those days. It's all because we did not have the kind of electronic gadgets we have in the present generation. But now, whether summer or winter, kids will be always in front of the gadgets. And for parents, it has become a kind of fashion to send their kids for coaching classes during summer holidays. But we all need to understand it is very necessary for our parents to understand that physical activity is very important for kids to keep their mind active. Already so many problems are existing, like, the dementia, these kind of things, because if they don't activate the brain cells properly, and this leads to, they will expect these kind of problems in the early age itself, not after 80, 70s, 80s. Always remember, play hard and study hard. When I say play hard, it should be always outside, like how we used to do during our childhood days. Now, to take the meeting further, we have a gentleman amongst us. He's been a Toastmaster for the last 5+ years. He is working as a sales head for a reputed multinational company here in Bangalore. And always, it's a treat to listen to his table topics and the speech topics. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the MC, the Toastmaster this evening, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan.
Thank you, Mr. President, for those kind words. My only request to Vice President Education is to give me an opportunity to be the DMOD every week so that I continue to listen to these wonderful words every week. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to meeting number 1266 of Bangalore Toastmasters Club on a fabulous Friday evening. When I was first informed about the theme of the day, that means I'm in love with summer. Somewhere I felt that there is a complete disconnect between that topic and then what I really felt about summer. I think it's more to do with the place where I was born and brought up. Having born and brought up in a state which is known for its notorious summers, where the temperature used to go beyond 43, 44 degrees with a high humidity, summer is something that I hated to the core. So somewhere this topic didn't cut ice with me. But everything changed in the year 2008 for the simple reason that's when IPL came into picture. So 2008, April, that's when the Indian summer really starts. IPL kicked in. So from 2008, I started really liking summer for the simple reason that IPL is on. The moment I think of cricket, I think of one particular individual, one of the finest batsmen that I can always think of, the stylish Hyderabadi, known for his wrist work, elegance, and his flicks, VVS Lakshman. The moment I say VVS Lakshman, we all think of that fabulous innings of 281 that he scored against Australia at Eden Gardens. But Lakshman is much more than that. He's a player beyond that one particular knock of 281. So what makes him so special? He's the one who used to come into bat at number 6 because the openers used to be Virendra Sehwag and Gautam Gambhir, followed by the big four, Ganguly, Dravid, Tendulkar, and then finally Lakshman comes in to bat at number 6. By the time he walks in, most of the standard players or the few batsmen would have walked back to the pavilion. So normally Lakshman used to play with the tailenders. So what is so special again? So he bats with tailenders, that's fine. But gentlemen, he had scored 1,756 half centuries for India, and most of these innings were decisive in terms of results. And every innings that he played where he scored a century or a half century, he always batted it with a tailender. Again, what's so special? Typically, what happens is in the game of cricket, when he has a few batsmen is batting, he normally doesn't allow the tailender to take much of the strike. So normally a player who is a pure batsman tries to protect the tailender. And normally they don't take singles as well. They try to hit a 4 or block, and then at the fag end of the over, they try to steal a single. But Lakshman is completely different. He gives enough of opportunities to the tailenders with whom he had batted most of his life, be it Zahir Khan, be it Ashish Nehra, be it Ishant Sharma. Everybody prospered under the tutelage of Lakshman. So there was one classic example which I wanted to quote here, which made Lakshman one of the truly greatest players of India. India were asked to chase 216 runs against Australia in the 4th innings, and India was tottering at 124 for 8, and that's when Lakshman was in, and then Ishant Sharma walked in. Many a cricket pundits would have said, oh, gone, another 92 odd runs to win, and then Lakshman and Ishant Sharma. But Lakshman, being Lakshman, gave enough of strike to Ishant because he completely believed in the batting capability of Ishant. And then no wonder India won the match. Lakshman scored 70 odd runs and Ishant Sharma scored 31. So what is that we can learn from Lakshman as a cricketer? Because he's the one who had batted in most of his innings with the tailenders, whose capabilities are always a question mark when it comes to the skill of batting. But he had trust in them. He gave them enough of opportunities. He pushed them, he mentored them, and he guided them. As a result, these batsmen with whom Lakshman had played, they have prospered. If you take an analogy here in Toastmasters, a similar thing happens. A new person comes in as a new speaker. We provide them opportunities and we guide them. We push them, in fact, and we ask them to get onto the stage and then speak in front of a larger audience. And they also get some inspiration from some great speakers like Rajdeep, Soma, or Nitin. And over a period of time, they become better speakers. They become a better version of themselves. So there is a real good lesson that we can take from the game of cricket, and especially some few of the cricketers that I have spoken about. The moment I speak about Toastmasters, I need to talk about some of how exactly Toastmasters started, because there are quite a few guests amongst us. This is a movement which was started in the year 1924, which was founded by Dr. Ralph C. Smedley at a small place called Santa Ana in California. And over the past 90 plus years, this movement has grown by leaps and bounds. And today, we have more than 14,000 clubs, which is spread across 100 plus countries, and helping millions and millions of people to become better communicators and better leaders. I think we, as a member of this wonderful community, deserve a round of applause for ourselves. A typical Toastmasters meeting will have 3 sessions. To begin with, normally we will have a prepared speech session in which a speaker comes prepared, delivers a speech based on some specific project guidelines. And the second session is called as a table topic session, in which a speaker is given a table topic, that is a topic off the cuff. A speaker has to speak on that particular topic for close to 2 minutes. And the final session is called as a evaluation session, in which an experienced Toastmaster who takes complete information about the way in which the meeting was conducted, dissects the entire proceedings of the meeting, and then finally comes out with his own suggestion in terms of how we can improve the quality of the meetings per se. And today, to take us through this evaluation session, we have with us a Toastmaster who is a fine, humorous speaker. He's a gifted speaker known for his eloquence when on stage. And he has served as the president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club before, a finance professional, a wonderful orator. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome the general evaluator for today's evening, Toastmaster Nitin. Toastmaster Nitin, may I request you to spell out your role, please?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, dear Toastmasters and fellow guests. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Today, my role is to evaluate the meeting in general and lead my team of evaluators who will be having their specific roles of evaluating the individual speakers, and also my tag L team, which consists of PM Sanjay, who's a part of our tag team, TM Priyanka, being our counter, TM Hannah being a grammarian, and listener role is being held by TM George. They will briefly talk about, TM Sanjay will be talking about the time which is being taken. Priyanka will be counting the hours and pauses which are there in the speakers, and she will be giving a report at the end of the meeting. Grammarian by Hannah will be talking about the grammatical errors which normally we commit. Of course, at least I do many of such mistakes. And listener role being, he will be listening to the whole, he is the main listener, and he'll be testing our listening capabilities by asking few questions. And he will also be taking over at the end of the meeting. Over to Toastmaster Vaidya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nitin. A round of applause for Nitin. So before we move on to the first session, which is the prepared speech session, we have something very exciting coming up. So we have something which is called as a newsletter, which as a Toastmaster, we all eagerly wait for. And to hand it over, I would request Toastmaster Priyanka Ranore to take up the online stage, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm really very happy and excited to announce the release of our first newsletter for this term. I must say, the journey of the making of this newsletter was an amazing experience and a great learning and something very new to me. Initially, there were a lot of challenges, but with the amazing editorial team, things went seamless. I especially want to thank my editorial team, Toastmaster Somashekar sir and Toastmaster Aaron Kamath for their unconditional support. I went to them at the last moment, and in spite of their busy schedule, I received unconditional support from them. Thank you so much. I would like to ask Toastmaster Somashekar sir to speak few words during the journey of the newsletter. Would you like to share a few experiences, sir?
Yeah, thanks, Priyanka. So to me, Toastmasters is not just about communication as it is told. There are so many learning opportunities in various fields. Of course, communication is not just oral communication, right? So newsletter is an amazing experience. And yes, Priyanka drove it from the front. There's a lot of challenges always, right? Getting the content. But then I think she has done a phenomenal job. But then finally, what matters to us is the feedback you give on the newsletters. You haven't seen it yet. So looking forward for the feedback. It was a great journey along with Priyanka and Aaron to contribute my bit to the newsletter. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you so much, sir. Aaron, would you like to share a few words during the making?
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. And firstly, fellow Toastmasters guests, Priyanka is ever too kind, giving me probably more credit than I deserve. She did most of the heavy lifting on this, including following up with us, doing most of the work. So it was really her baby that she's done exceedingly well in. And we were just, at least I was just a little speck in a cog in the wheel, really. A couple of personal notes. This was my first time working on a newsletter, I think, in my life. I was never a person to work on newsletters in school and colleges. I was more into other activities. So this was a very good experience. I got to read all of your articles. I sat on a Sunday, I read all of them. Lovely, different perspectives. It was a great experience. And there was this one day where I called up a few of you for some very candid answers. And I think apart from learning from y'all, again, different perspectives and how briefly you all can put and succinctly you all can put your answers, I was also amazed with the enthusiasm that you all were just so ready to take a call, answer my questions, and I could hear the enthusiasm in your voices. So it's not only on Friday evenings, but it's a regular Tuesday night, Wednesday night when I call you up, you're ready with your answers for Toastmaster. So I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you so much, sir. Happy to be part of this.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I really once again want to thank Somsekhar sir and Aaron for their unconditional support. Trust me, without your people, this wouldn't have been possible. I also want to thank our committee, my subcommittee, and all the members who directly and indirectly supported me during the making of this newsletter. And now it's time. And I invite you all to the journey of Orenda. Orenda, which means a mystical force present in all of us to make a difference, to empower others, to make a change to the world and to ourselves. So here it comes. So here is our Bangalore Toastmasters first newsletter of this term, Orenda. Thank you all once again for all the support, and Bangalore Toastmasters newsletter will be shared to you all shortly. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan.
Wow, that's brilliant, Priyanka. Brilliant, Priyanka and team. So I think Priyanka and the editorial team deserve a big round of applause.
Thank you.
The 28 pages of excitement over in done. Very good, excellent.
Not only that, she's going to come up with 2 newsletters in this term. This is the first one. The second one will be in the month of May.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward for support from all of you once again.
Yeah, the one itself is very difficult, but she has promised to get one more. Okay, so let's give Priyanka a good round of applause.
It's like the vaccine now, yeah. The second dose.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a vaccine now.
Yes, we have to follow, since we are following the pandemic, we'll follow the same.
28
yeah,
days.
very good. Excellent. I think never give an opportunity for a Toastmaster to get on stage, right? So Aaron spoke for close to 3.5 minutes. That's the beauty of being a Toastmaster, right? You give him an opportunity to speak about newsletter. He spoke about 20 pages. Very good, excellent. So now it's time for us to move on to the first session, which is the prepared speech session. And our first speaker is going to attempt level 1 from the project 2 of the pathways, which is the dynamic leadership manual. May I request the speaker's evaluator, Toastmaster Karthik Nag, to read out the guidelines, please. Karthik Nag.
The speaker, Pavitra, she's attempting her first icebreaker speech. Note the time is 4 to 6 minutes. Back to you.
Karthik,
Pavitra is in, but I don't know whether she's.
Another. My
evaluator is Abhay.
Achyuta's evaluator is going to be Abhay. Abhay.
Yeah, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The speaker is attempting the first speech under evaluation and feedback. And the purpose statements of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. And the length of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you. All the best to the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhay. The speaker is a student at Christ University. He wears multiple hats. He loves long rides. He loves especially bike rides, and he loves photography, an ardent wildlife fan. And he aspires to be a data scientist in the days to come. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome our first speaker, Toastmaster Achyuta Kaushik, on stage, please. Round of applause to Toastmaster Achyuta.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. A feeling of rush, dryness in your mouth, butterflies in your stomach, and your arms and legs are shaking, seeming to be out of your control. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? No? Well, stage fright, public speaking, fear of public speaking. I'm pretty sure everyone in this room has been in this situation at one point in our lives, especially so in giving the first few speeches here at Toastmasters and many more table topics. Now, this can be caused, like I said, by stage fright or a fear of public speaking, or as it's known, glossophobia. A research done on the subject suggested that many people rated the fear of public speaking more than they would rate the fear of death. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, you might think that this fear is irrational and completely unnecessary, but thousands of years of evolution put that fear in your brain. In order to understand how this fear began, we have to go back in time, back to when humans were in early tribes of hunter-gatherers, back to much simpler times. Now, back then, human beings didn't have any form of self-defense. We did not have shells, we did not have claws, we did not have huge canines. It was just us and our tools. And there's only so much that tools can do against huge wild animals that might possibly want to kill and eat you. Now say you are living in one of these tribes, which is near a river. And one night, for whatever reason, one person from the tribe has to go fetch water from the river, braving the darkness. And so one person volunteers for the task. Now there's 3 ways that this could have gone. 1, he gets the water and returns a hero. 2, he gets attacked by a wild animal on the way there. But he gets only injured and lives to tell the tale, fortunately. And 3, he doesn't return. Now, whatever may be the outcome of this, the rest of the tribe thinks that this is an undesirable situation to be in. And so began the fear of the unknown and the undesirable in our brains. And this fear got ingrained in our brains, being passed down generation after generation for thousands of years. Nearly 100,000 years later, we are the descendants of such tribespeople who were afraid of undesirable and unknown situations. The feelings I described before, dryness in your mouth, Now, what an undesirable situation does to our brain is it triggers a part of the brain called the sympathetic nervous system. And the sympathetic nervous system, in turn, triggers a response in the body called the fight or flight response. The feelings I described before, dryness in the mouth, butterflies in your stomach, shaky arms and legs, and adrenaline rush, these are all a result of that. What happens is that your blood rushes away from the digestive tract towards the bigger muscles of the arms and the legs to prepare the body to either fight a threat or to run away from it. Coming back to the present day, giving a speech is considered an undesirable situation by our brains. Human beings, the social animals that we are, apparently our brains care about social reputation more than one might think. And so it's afraid of your reputation being screwed up, and it sees giving the speech as an undesirable situation. This brings us back to our response to undesirable situations. The sympathetic nervous system is triggered, the flight or fight response is triggered, and you're left feeling very nervous. So the next time you are on stage feeling all sorts of bad, you have evolution to blame for it. Now, how does one learn to deal with this nerves, the fear? First is practice. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. The more you practice your speech, the better you know it. The better you know your speech, the less afraid your brain becomes of your reputation taking a hit. Also, practice being on stage. Reminisce the time when you were learning how to ride a bicycle for the first time without the training wheels. You could not have been more afraid, and yet you continued to ride. And the more you rode your bicycle, the less afraid you became. So, the more you do something you fear, the less afraid of it you become. This is called desensitization, and the same applies here. Second is breath. Take deep, long, and deliberate breaths. Now, taking deep, long breaths, what it does is it triggers a system called the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system does exactly the opposite of what the sympathetic nervous system does. It tells your body, hey, chill, there's no threat, you can calm down. And so it puts your body and your mind at ease. Now, the third is to acknowledge your fight or flight response. The flight or flight response originates in a part of the brain called the amygdala, which is responsible for triggering the sympathetic nervous system. On the other hand, our rational brain is based in the frontal cortex. What's interesting is the frontal cortex and the amygdala are opposing systems. What this means is if you choose to engage your rational brain, the amygdala shuts off and your flight or flight situation is calm. So this might sound really funny, but the next time you are up on stage and feel your flight or flight response kick in, you can just think to yourself, hey, I feel my flight or flight situation kick in. Let's stop that, shall we? And it actually stops because you chose to engage your rational brain. So to recap, practice, take deep and long breaths, and acknowledge your flight or fight response. And make sure to use these tips the next time you're afraid of going up on stage. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster.
A round of applause to Toastmaster Achyuta for taking us through the art of negating the nervousness that we feel while we hit the stage. I think he gave a wonderful hint that, if at all, if you're feeling nervous and if you have a dry mouth, it is not something that is because of us. We need to blame our ancestors. It's there in our gene. That's what he said. So thank you very much. But I always wonder why, despite we walking almost daily, doesn't become better in walking. So when practice makes somebody perfect, we daily walk, right? So can I say that I walk better than what I was doing maybe a year back? No. So that's why there is a famous sentence which comes in that time spent is never equal to experience. You need to put your heart and soul into the time spent, then only it can become an experience. Otherwise, it's just a time spent. Nevertheless, thank you very much for taking us through this wonderful speech. A round of applause once again for our Toastmaster Achyuta. And our next speaker is going to deliver her icebreaker. May I request her speech evaluator, Toastmaster Karthik Nag, to read out the guidelines, please.
The purpose of this project is to introduce herself to the club and follow a basic structure of a public speech. It's a 4 to 6 minute speech. And yeah, all the best, Pavitra. The pathways is persuasive influence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karthik. Since this is going to be an icebreaker speech where the speaker is going to introduce herself in front of a larger audience, I'm not going to speak more on about her. So it's over to Toastmaster Pavitra.
25th December 1994, 10:38 a.m. it was. In one of the hospitals in Tumkur, a lady gave birth to a life. With 3 pounds extra, brown in complexion, that life was confused. A completely new environment, unfamiliar faces, and a completely lighter environment from the dark place it had been. And that kid was confused. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I take you through the course of this life to this 26-year-old girl standing in front of you, giving an icebreaker speech. To quickly tell you about my professional and personal friend. So I was born in Tumkur. I had my schooling stretch across Tumkur, Mysore, Bangalore, and I did my law in Jodhpur, and I did my master's degree at Icebreaker University, Bangalore. And post that, I litigated for a couple of months, and currently I work at KPMG as an assistant consultant in their compliance services. So that's about it from a professional friend. So when I thought about Icebreaker, I thought it should be more about what I have been through this life to be here and the important markers of my life. And when I thought about it, there are like 4 important things and the markers that came to my mind. And the very first thing is about this when I was struggling with education. It was in my 8th standard when I was at a really low when it comes to education. I believe it's very too younger age at that point, and a consideration maybe, but I realized that education was important at that point, and my mom realized. And there was a lot of familial struggles that were happening, and somehow my mom decided that for the betterment of my own education and the career to progress, we had to make a shift to Mysore. We are financially not well equipped. So all that she could think was mortgage the only house she had in her name, and ensure that that is gone into in the name of my education, and that she did. So it was a struggle. I had to crack an entrance exam traveling in an early morning train from Bangalore to Mysore, and I'm glad I did it because that was the most difficult part, because my education was at an all-time low because of many personal struggles that were being through. But I got in. I got into St. Joseph's High School in Mysore, and that was about it. And I knew what it took to be there for me as an individual and for my mother as well. And there I was. And the second thing is, I was very sure what I wanted to do very early in my life. I always wanted to pursue law. And maybe a major thought process into it was put forth by my mother, but I had no two thoughts about doing law as a professional experience. And there I was. I knew what to do, but I did not know where to do. And I was in Mysore looking for options. One of my cousin I told there's this national law universities. It all over a casual conversation, and one fine day I saw it in a notice board by a coaching center in where it spoke about being coaching candidates for NLU getting admission in national law universities. And okay, I decided. I knew the place where I wanted to do my law, and I went and told to my mom. And she was all support with me, like she has always been. And we went to the coaching center. Again, it was an expensive deal. And I'm sure every one of you here are aware about the stories of Indian mothers and the gold bangles. And there it was. I got myself admission into a coaching center there. I worked hard to the best of my abilities. I got into NLU Assam. However, well, that was not convincing point to my dad to send me to Assam, and I had to take a drop here. I knew what I wanted to do though, and hence I got into law college in Mysore. I gave a second attempt in CLAT, and I still remember coming out in tears of the examination center, and I was all broken. I thought this dream will just remain a dream, and because again I had performed to what I had imagined to perform, and there I was. So until that was a phase that I even can recall and leave there, because I almost had got for those few weeks there was a so there I was. Then a disturbance.
No, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So yeah, and there I was, where I lost a very important person in my life. My mom was no more with me, with whom I interwoven all my dreams together, and there was an entire collapse. And when I thought about all of this, there was this one line of thought that stuck to my mind. It was, I would possibly take away her life again if I'm not living it anymore. And there I was. I decided to leave, go ahead, and pursue what she has left with me, so as to she lives her life again. And here it was. So, and the final thing is what I wanted to, an important marker has been about my own struggle with my mental health. And mental health is something that is very important in everyone's life, I believe. And I'm sure everyone would have at least casually heard about OCD, be just pulling your friend's leg as to don't be a OCD and whatnot. But let me tell you, fellow Toastmasters and guests, OCD, I have been clinically diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, and I'll tell you, it's not an easy place to live with. Just imagine, one, I have to pull this particular chair, I have to think about 4 different directions, what is on the right side, what is on the left side, what is in my hand, what is on the chair, and it's not easy. It's not easy for any person to live with OCD. And I would reiterate that because that has affected a lot of my life choices. I want to do a lot more, which I still dream of doing. But at the present moment, I have realized that important requirement right now is the insignificance of mental health. And somehow, be it last with the pandemic and lockdown, this mental health has taken a new turn over a period of time. But I'm sure willpower is the magic. And I don't know about this universe conspires you to get whatever you want if you want to, but I'm definitely sure willpower does the magic. So keep it with you. Thank you.
This is the landmark speech, Icebreaker being the first speech. She deserves a standing ovation. So may I request everyone to give her a standing ovation for the project wonderfully delivered. It takes a lot of courage to come on stage for someone to talk about the suffering that one person had undergone, but I think you did it in style. So a round of applause to you, Pavitra. So all the very best for your future speeches as well. Our next speaker is going to attempt project 3 from the Effective Coaching Manual. May I request his speech evaluator. His speech evaluator is DTM Rajdeep Manwani. On behalf of DTM Rajdeep Manwani, it is going to be Toastmaster Srijit who is going to read out the guidelines. May I request a Toastmaster Srijit to read out the project guidelines, please.
Good evening, everyone. Purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring and to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. Thank you. Over to you, Vaidya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srijit. This Toastmaster is a self-made man from a very humble beginning from the state of Jharkhand to have graduated from one of the finest engineering colleges, which is REC, moving to Bangalore. This man has got nerves of steel. Now he is employed with Tata Steel as a sales manager responsible for the industrial business. I have seen him metamorphosing, but from a novice speaker to an excellent speaker and a communicator. I'm always in awe of the articles that he published in LinkedIn. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome one of the finest speakers in the making at Bangalore Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Kamlish Kumar.
Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, I'm audible?
Yes, you are very much audible.
Thank you. Mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself, isn't it? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm going to share with you incidents of 3 mentors who have transformed my life. First one was my father, who was a great inspiration to me and other siblings. He taught us to inculcate the important values of life: honesty, humility, and hard work. This reminds me my childhood days. I was just 10-year-old, and one day I got up in the morning and noticed a few cops who had come to my neighborhood to apprehend the owner of the house. We were surprised with this experience. I inquired my father, and he informed me that a person was visiting to my father's shop and tried to persuade him to buy adulterated oil. Without much of any thought, my father refused it. But my neighbor, who had a shop just near to my shop, had bought the inferior quality of oils and made money like anything. After some time, he was caught by the police, and that particular day was the incident. With this incident, my father taught a valuable lesson that honesty always pays back to you with a pride and respect, and we should always be honest in the respect of our jobs. Second mentor in my life is my friend Manoj, who has been my friendship for last 20 years, but our friendship nurtured and blossomed after many years. He is always ready to discuss anything in life and always enlighten us with the positivity in every problem that we face. Whenever I get depressed, he always come out and pull me up to back to the normal. Recently, when I was directionless in my job, I didn't find any value addition, and he told me that, why don't you become an expert in electric vehicle, which is going to be future of the entire world. And then after a lot of conversation, I was convinced, and I started building this skill after doing a course. And today I'm happy that with help of him, I'm developing this expertise in the electric vehicle. Third mentor in my life is a person who always helped me to believe in myself. He always stand by as a teacher, as a guide. And one day I was delivering the speech in Bangalore Toastmaster Club, and I got the feedback I need to improve upon my pronunciation. After coming to know this thing, he came forward and supported me. He asked me to practice every day in the Cubbon Park while I was going to office. I still remember the day I was reading the book by Mahatma Gandhi, My Experiment with Truth. And one hand I was on the phone, and other hand my mentor who was listening to my speech and correcting my pronunciation. And that experiment went for a month. And after that, there was significant improvement that happened in my pronunciation. Today, I'm happy that he is not just a person who helped in my pronunciation, but also pushed me to take all the contest that is happening in the Bangalore Toastmaster Club. And Ladies and gentlemen, he is none other than Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza. All these three mentors have really saved my life. And truly, I am humbled and honored that this person has truly embarked my life in a different direction. And today, I take this opportunity to salute them that they have they have become a part of my life. So I really salute them. And I'm sure that with this journey will be more fruitful in the days to come. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kamlish. I'm humbled that you chose this particular occasion to speak about three wonderful human beings who have shaped up your life. So excellent. So ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause for a project well delivered. So that brings us to the end of the first session, which is the prepared speech session. And now the voting link has been shared with in our WhatsApp group. So Toastmasters, you can cast your vote for the best speaker, and the voting code is 12345. It's 12345. So you can take another 15 seconds before we move on to the second session. All right. So when Ronald Reagan was shot and he was wheeled into the operation theater, he suddenly remarked to the chief surgeon, "I hope you are all Republicans." And the chief surgeon immediately said, "Mr. President, at least for today." So that's the art of thinking on feet. The ability to respond to a very difficult question off the cuff without getting entangled in the question per se is what makes people better communicators. And table topics is all about thinking on your feet and then to able to respond off the cuff. And to take us through this particular session, we have with us a very young Toastmaster who is a student at the Nitte Meenakshi Institute of Technology, and he is pursuing his aeronautical engineering. He is a man who loves riding bikes and physics. He loves physics. And to make us fly high, like the course that he is pursuing, and to dance on the stage, so he is going to give us some questions. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Vishal, who is our table topic master for the day. It's over to table topic master, Toastmaster Vishal. A round of applause for him, please.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. The table topic session, a session where our fight or flight response goes into overdrive, as Achyuta mentioned earlier on today. Timer, please note that each topic will be given 1.5 minutes. So let's have some fun and reminisce about this later. For the first topic, I would like to call Toastmaster Alan. Toastmaster Alan?
Yeah.
Your topic is, what is the best book you've read and why? Over to you, Toastmaster Alan.
I think the best book that I've read is called Shoe Dog, and it is by the person who founded this company called Nike, which you all know. And why I like the book very much is the fact that it talks about the struggles of coming out with a company like a shoe company. So we all have preconceptions about companies, and Nike being a big brand that it is right now. And the author basically talks about the struggles of coming out with a company like this, how it affected his own personal equations with people, his struggles, his successes, but he also focuses mainly on his failures. And the book, in the end, talks about how, even though he had achieved great success in his life, um, his personal life in terms of family was greatly affected by the success that he enjoyed professionally. It is extremely relatable, and I would definitely recommend everyone to kind of read this book, because even for people who don't enjoy biographies, it is very fictionalized and very, very relatable. And if you want to know about a great biography and a great shoe company and the starting of how it was founded, I think it's the ideal book to read. So the book I loved, and my favorite book is Shoe Dog, and I would recommend it to everyone who's listening in today. Thank you. Over to you, Vishal.
Table topic, Master Vishal.
Thank you, Toastmaster.
Mr. Vishal?
Should I just check if I'm audible? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Can I just get a confirmation if I'm audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Vishal, you are audible.
Sorry, I've had a power cut. Next, I'd like to invite Toastmaster Suma.
Yes, sir.
For you, I'd like to ask, what is the best food you've eaten and why?
Okay, thank you for giving me the good topic. The food I like very much is the sweet, actually, sweet dessert. That is raskadam. Why means I can enjoy each bit of it, and I'll try to make it also. So during the lockdown, I prepared so many recipes, which I would like to serve everyone in the BTMC if time permits in my future time. Then also kulcha, so many other delicious foods as well. But apart from that, raskadam is very favorite food for dessert for me, actually, because I love that juicy part, which is dipped in the sugar syrup. So it gives enjoyment when I have that, and that sweet, actually. Over to you, Vishal. Hello, over to you, Vishal. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suma. I hope we can get the recipe for this wonderful treat.
Sure.
Next, I'd like to invite Toastmaster Sudipto.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Sudipto, your topic is, what life lesson did you learn from your favorite sport?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Table Topic Master, allowing me to reminisce about my past sports activities. So, and this goes quite some time back. I used to be a very avid soccer fan and a player as well. In the sense, I was not a great player, but I used to be very interested in the sports, and I used to play for a small club in Delhi. And as part of that, we used to go to different institutes and other clubs also, and we used to play friendly games. So one such time we were actually invited by the American embassy in Delhi. They have a school inside the embassy to play against the American school. And we were pretty excited. We went there, and surprisingly, we had a very good match. In fact, we won the game 4-0. But that's when at the end of the game, the coach told us, okay, actually, we were playing against our junior team. And why don't you come back the following week and we'll have a game against our senior team as well. Good. I mean, we were on cloud 9 at the time, and sure, we went back next week, and this time the equation changed, right? I mean, it was like, it was completely different ball game with their best team playing, and we were kind of wiped out. I think I don't remember the exact score, but I think we lost somewhere 6 or 7-0, right? We were hardly getting out of the half. So what does that teach us, right? I think it teaches us, I think, some of the very known truths in life, that ups and downs are, just part of the life, right? One day you are, you're really at a very high, but within a very short time you are, brought thumping down on the ground, and you need to, be equanimous in all these situations, whether you are really had a good day or whether you had a lousy day. I mean, take it on the chin and get going. I mean, these incidents won't define your life, right? It's your faith in yourself which will do that. Back to you, Vishal.
Thank you for that, Stupido. Next, I would like to call on Toastmaster Nagesh Ramurthy.
Good evening, Toastmaster Vishal. I'm here.
Your topic will be, what is the new normal because of Corona that isn't so bad?
The new normal. I think from past over 1.5 years or over a year, everybody have their own new normal. No two new normals are the same. I'm sure the way I have my life at home, locked up inside the house, the way I am spending my time in the home, I'm sure the same is not on anybody else's place. Everybody has got their own new normals, is what I feel. However, this new normal has taught us a lot of good lessons. How we have to treat each human being inside the house and when we are on our professional lives. This is what I will reminiscence for a very long time when I talk to a lot of people about the new normal. Back to you, Vishal.
Vishal, you there?
Yeah, he has got some problem with the power, but he's there.
He's on actually.
He's paused.
Vishal, you are on mute, I believe.
No, he's trying to reconnect.
Reconnect, okay.
I'm sorry again, there was an issue with my internet. Next, I would like to call on Toastmaster Rajiv Mishra. Toastmaster Rajiv?
Yes.
Your topic will be, what was the defining moment of 2020 for you?
Okay. So, defining moment for 2022 was one factor behind that for everyone was the Corona, the way Corona treated with us across the globe. For me, it was come as a challenges where company has decided we have to work from the home. There are first time in my life when I work for a long hours and numbers of days from home. I thought not only me, whole team can be so productive even without seeing the physical face to each other. First time, one topic across the world, people are talking same time, a topic of how we can get out of this. So though the people across the world facing a lot of problems, but it's bring all of us together. It's bring whole world together to fight with something which is not working for the mankind. And it's also giving us the lesson that as a human being, any problem which we will face, we can deal with that and we will really find a success path from that. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you for the wonderful topic. I'd like to call on Toastmaster Mahesh.
Yes.
Your topic will be, when I say the word paradise, what comes to your mind?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and table topic master, as well as guests. For me, paradise is something where it is far away from home, and I love beaches. And of course, in India, if we talk about beach, it is none other than Goa. I'm sure all of you would agree to that. But I definitely would like to share one specific experience when I'd been to Malaysia. And in Malaysia, for beaches, it is none other than Langkawi. So it was a very different experience. One, I could hire a car for myself and it was self-drive. So wherever I had to go with my family, I could do that, which was very convenient considering that I had to take my family to all different beaches. And it wasn't just a beach. There were a lot of water sports games as well we could enjoy. And it was complete serene. And the icing in the cake was there were a lot of Indian restaurants and Indian delicacies which we could completely enjoy. And that was something which we all cherished a lot. And the best part was I could do snorkeling over there, which I had never experienced in the past, as well as scuba diving, a bit of a training on that. So this was some of the best experiences I could carry. And definitely Langkawi, among other Indian beaches, I would consider as my paradise. Thank you. And over to you.
Thank you for that wonderful description. Next, I would like to call upon distinguished Toastmaster Rajdeep sir.
Vishal, he is an evaluator.
Okay, then I would like to call upon Toastmaster Chetan Patel.
Yes, I'm here.
The topic for you is, when I say the word fairy tale, what comes to mind?
Okay, so good evening, everyone. So when I think about fairy tale, I think of a fictional character, most probably a female character, that comes to Earth and blesses all of us, all of humankind, with the vaccine that can cure COVID. I think right now, for everyone, I think that is the only fairy tale story that we're all wishing for. And I'm really sure that everyone is working really hard. I'm so sorry. I'm so sure that scientists and doctors all over the world are really working very hard, and they are no less than magicians or fairies that we can call. They are a form of God that are working day and night to help us get rid of this pandemic. So I think if I think about fairy tale, I think this is the only thing that will come to my mind currently, seeing the situation that we are facing to. Thank you. Over to you.
That wonderful shout out to all the Corona warriors. Next topic, I'd like to invite a guest named Amit.
Am I audible?
Yes. Amit, your topic will be, what do you love about summer?
Please repeat the topic. What do you love about someone?
Yes.
Summer.
Summer. Okay. My dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, we all have one thing in common. We always strive to make our life more fulfilling, enriching, and promising. But how it is possible? Is there any secret? Yes, there is one secret, and that is to enjoy the delicious food that we get during the summer season. And the delicious fruits, which includes mango. And you go with mango with your loved ones and go to some distant place and you just enjoy, you just cherish the moment. And if you do that, then you will feel relaxed. You will feel enlightened. You will feel that all the craving for the junk foods has gone. And if you are doing, my dear Table Talk Master, then definitely this will be your timeless, priceless, and ageless secret for enjoying the summer days. Not only this mango, but also you go to some hilly area, you will enjoy the chilly wind, which is touching your mind, which is touching your body and touching your soul. It will declutter all the chaos of crisis, all the chaos, crisis, negativity, and noise that you have gone through all the hustle and bustle of this city. I request and appeal all my fellow Toastmasters, whenever you get a chance, summer is just about to knock our door. Just go to some hilly area and never ever forget to have mango in your palm. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you for your wonderful secret to enjoying summer. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Guru Prasad. Toastmaster Guru Prasad?
Yes, Vishal.
Your topic is, what do you miss the most about the pre-corona period?
What I miss the most about... Thank you, Vishal, for the wonderful topic. See, for me, last 5 years, I once I became a consultant, I started working from home. So for me, pre-corona, post-corona, there's not much of the difference. But in the pre-corona time, we were not having any kind of restriction, it's kind of we were enjoying everything. But in the after corona, I think we have many restrictions, and we have very many limitations to do many things. But overall, when I see that pre-corona, I've not missed anything. I've taken a lot of challenges in my career. In post-corona, I got some solutions what need to be addressed during that time. Thank you to Vishal. I think over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guru Prasad, for sharing your opinions. I'd like to call upon Swami Raj. Is Swami Raj online? I'd like to...
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes. Swami Raj, your topic is, what have you recently learned that has blown your mind?
Blown my mind. What have I recently learned? So about aeronautics, I am an aeronautical engineering who is in the third year. And aeronautical engineering is something which is different from all the engineerings, and it is a combination of all the engineerings which comes together. Let it be electrical, let it be mechanical, civil, everything, it comes together as a part of aeronautics. And aeronautic is something we humans were never supposed to fly an aeroplane or fly in the sky. That was the God's wish, which he does not wanted to fly. But Wright brothers showed us that yes, we can fly one day. And taking aeronautical engineering, and I guess that is the best decision of my life. And it has surely been an amazing choice which I have taken, and I'm learning about aeronautics more. And it is surely an amazing subject, and this is what has blown my mind. So I love this subject. Thank you, Vishal, for this amazing topic.
Thank you, Swamiraj. As an aeronautical engineer myself, I can relate to what you said. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Aaron. Toastmaster Aaron?
He's not there.
Okay. I'd like to call upon Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Teresa Mann.
Yeah, my voice may not be audible, but I'll try my level best.
Your
Yes,
voice is audible.
Toastmaster Vishal.
My topic to you is, what is your favorite weather and why do you like it?
My favorite weather, Toastmaster Vishal, is a rainy season. Rainy season I love the most. Starting from it forms the clouds. Watching the clouds moving, and from white, gray, then almost thick black, that I love the most. And the first rain, when it falls on the ground, and the smell of the mud, where there is a rainwater and the mud mixed together, that aroma that I felt, I can't explain in my words. That much I love. And especially when it pours heavily, we say the pouring cats and dogs, that still I love. I love watching the rain falling. It's very big drops. And while watching the rain, to munch your fried cashew nuts with chilled, you call whatever it is, either white liquid or the brown liquid. It goes so well with spiced fried cashew nuts. And watching this rain is the most loved season. Over to you, topic master.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a wonderful description of the rainy season. Next, I would like to invite on the stage Toastmaster Nazdeen. Toastmaster Nazdeen?
I'm there.
The topic to you is, if you could change one thing about this world, what would you change?
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests and participants. The one thing that I would like to change, if I would have the thing, is change is constant. And if you can accept it, it is even more better. Adapt it, even more better. Therefore, I believe that one thing that I would like to change is that stop being judgmental. Believe and respect people's perspectives, because I might have a perspective about a certain thing, but you might not agree with me. It's okay. No problem. You just have to accept it and respect it, and give respect to the person, whoever has a perspective on something. That is what I would like to change, because as we are going on in this world of pretense, I choose to be an original, and this is my original code. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. I love this topic. Definitely, change is constant, and being adaptable to it, it's even more better. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nazdeen. That was truly inspiring. Next, I would like to call upon a guest named Pratik. Pratik?
Move on, Vishal.
Okay. Next, I would like to call upon a guest named Vineet Patel.
Hi, I'm here. Am I audible?
Topic? Yes, you are audible. And the topic to you, Vineet, is, what is your favorite activity and why do you like it?
Good evening to all the Toastmasters and guests. Right now, I think there are many activities that come into my mind. But right now, I just started doing yoga since 2 weeks, and I'm really enjoying doing yoga. I'm actually a very lazy person who wakes up very late, and after waking up late, the entire day goes very lazy. So since I started doing yoga, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and until 7 o'clock I do yoga, and then my entire day goes very active, and I can concentrate on the things I was not able to do before. And also I came over with the habit of sleeping late. Now I get sleep early, which our elders usually tell us to sleep early and wake up early. And so this is what I'm enjoying right now. Thank you for the wonderful topic, Vishal.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Somshekhar. Toastmaster Somshekhar. Okay, moving on. I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Priyanka Ranore.
I am the accounter, Vishal.
Role takers, you don't call, Vishal. Just already who spoke already, on stage. Don't call.
I'd like to call upon. I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble, so just give me 2 minutes. I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Shabri. Is he?
Yeah, he is a sergeant at arms. You can call guest Sakshi.
Toastmaster Sakshi, would you like to take up a topic?
Hi, yeah, sure.
Okay, your topic is, what is your favorite animal and why do you like it so much?
Okay, thanks. So my favorite animal is dog. I'm really fond of dogs because of the unconditional love, they shower. So yeah, especially I'm very fond of retrievers, the golden retrievers and the Labrador, though I don't have any, but in my office, many people have. In fact, in my office, it's a pet friendly space. So people bring their pets and many of the people have dogs. So yeah, I'm really fond of dogs. Yeah, thank you.
Can we have Amit? Amit, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Amit already spoke, Ayappa.
No, he didn't speak. Yeah, yes, Vishal. Amit MS, member.
Amit, your topic is, what fear did you recently overcome and how did you do it?
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening. My recent fear, I have been able to overcome a lot of fears recently. Nothing in particular I can think of, but sometimes life throws you certain situations which are untoward or unexpected. And one such incident in my life recently changed the course, the way I react to situations, and it sort of dealt with somebody who was trying to create a fear in me. It was an adversary who wanted to get over me on some personal issues, but the way I've handled the situation and overcome it has been quite interesting to my own self, though I cannot dwell much on the details. Probably someday I can open it up and share it with a few people or to the world. So you quite actually put me in a spot when you asked me what fear I overcame. So otherwise, I don't know. I hate to say I'm fearless, but there would be something. I certainly believe in life. There are certain situations or certain things that you may have to fear, and I hope everybody has the courage when they face upon a fear. They are able to face it thoroughly as I've done it and overcome it in the best possible way. Over to you, Vishal. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. That was inspiring. I would like to call upon Kamya from Speechcraft. Kamya, are you
Hi
online?
all.
Hello, Kamya. Your topic would be, what advice would you give a 5-year-old?
Okay. A very general advice I would like to give a 5-year-old kid that probably at that stage he wouldn't have really experienced anything great in life. But all I would like to tell him is that just enjoy life as it comes, not to worry too much, not to stress, overreact to any situation. Just keep your calm and coolness and face any situation with positivity. Yeah, that would be my advice.
That is a wonderful advice. I would
Thank
like to
you.
call for the next topic. I'd like to call upon distinguished Toastmaster Sumitra Manmohan. Sumitra ma'am. Okay, in that case, I would like to call upon Toastmaster George.
Vishal, there is a
Yes,
request which has come in from Toastmaster Srijit. So you can call him as well.
yes, Vishal. Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, Toastmaster George, which place would you like to go for a vacation and why?
Okay, so thank you, Vishal, and good evening again, fellow Toastmasters. So the place where I like is the beach. So my wife also likes more than that. So yeah, that too in summer we want to go to beach, specifically Mangalore, because I studied there. So we want to go there and have a relaxing time, come back. But now due to Corona, we have all been locked up. But given the post after get everything in normalcy, we wish to go to the coastal areas and spend some relaxing time. Yeah. Thanks, Vishal. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster George, for that wonderful account. Next, I would like to call upon Jayashree ma'am.
I think she's
Since
not there, Vishal. You can close it. Yeah.
Thank you for this wonderful opportunity and hope everyone had fun.
Thank
Over
you very
to
much,
you,
Toastmaster
Toastmaster
Vishal. Thank you very much for the brilliant topics that you had chosen, handpicked, and very well done. So a round of applause to our table topic master, Toastmaster Vishal Vasan. So ladies and gentlemen, the link is shared in our WhatsApp group and the code is going to be 12345. Please do take 10 to 15 seconds and then cast your vote for the best table topic speaker. Post which we would move on to the most final session, which is going to be the evaluation session. So please do take 10 seconds to cast the best table topic speaker. All right, so now it's time for the final session, which is going to be evaluation session. To take us through the evaluation session, may I request a Toastmaster, Nitin, to take the stage, please. It's over to the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Nitin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaidya, for that introduction. And good evening, Toastmasters and the guests again. It's my privilege to be a general evaluator for today's meeting. And to start with, I was pleasantly happy to see our president welcoming everyone before the start of the meeting. He was personally taking care to check on everyone, whether they are online and how are they doing. It was really nice. Thank you very much, President, for that warm welcome to all the members. And I could also see members interacting with each other before the meeting. The meeting started on time. Sergeant at Arms Shabari, very able young man, talked about fish. The topic of fish always raises my senses. And it was nice that he grabbed the attention of the audience by talking about the summer and his grandmother. It was well done. Only suggestion I would tell any Sergeant at Arms is you should also mention what are the do's and don'ts at Toastmasters, as we do in a physical meeting. That would be better. And one thing I learned about online meeting is there are some set of rules. Also, you should talk on an online meeting. For example, I could see some messages coming, flashing on the screen as the prepared speech was going on, or some other table topic sessions were going on. Probably you should caution members not to send any messages. And I would suggest the committee to allot some space for these such messages, if there is any, which you would like to broadcast or members to broadcast. I mean, that would be my personal suggestion, because it was also distracting my attention at times. But otherwise, very well done, Shabri, as a Sergeant Arms. Kudos to you, and a big round of applause for Shabri too. And we had Kamlesh reading the highlights of the last meeting. Very interesting. In a short time, he briefed about what happened in the last meeting. So people who have missed reading the minutes can get a glimpse of what happened. Well done. I think I should congratulate the committee in bringing out this particular short speech on the minutes. Thank you very much. Then we came to the President Ayyappa, Toastmaster Ayyappa. I have seen him evolve into a beautiful speaker. Earlier, I used to identify himself as a person who will talk a humorous topic, but as the time progressed, he has developed mastery in all arenas, and also especially when he talked about his summer days in his grandmother's place. It was very enchanting for me, and it was also I was reminiscent of my earlier days. President, you have done very well for this term. I congratulate you for being a good speaker and giving a good message. And I'm looking forward to more such speeches in future. And Toastmaster Vaidya, I will come to you later if I have words to talk about your speech. Let me straight away go to the evaluation of individual speakers. The first speaker was Toastmaster Achyuta Kaushik, who was evaluated by Toastmaster Abhay Kothari. I request Toastmaster Abhay Kothari to evaluate Toastmaster Achyut Kaushik.
Good evening, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and our speaker Achyuta in particular. Beautifully organized, well-researched, and simple to follow. Achyuta, this is my view about your speech. I felt that you gave practical examples, recapped your points in the end, and the best part was how you distributed your time in describing the problem, giving insights into it, and also providing practical solutions. Now, what is the takeaway factor for me? The takeaway factor for me is how we are wired by evolution to have the fear of the undesirable. I had read that human newborns have only two fears. One, the fear of falling, and the fear of loud noises. And for me, your speech really confirms that point. And I always thought that someone sitting in the audience and staring was the person who induced nervousness in me. So thank you for clarifying that. Now, in terms of content, I think that you gave a very well-rounded speech, and your parasympathetic nervous system really helped you well. Now, this was best demonstrated when you sort of missed your train of thought and were, referring to your notes and controlling your symptoms. So that was really nice. And I also thought that the phrase "screwed up" really made a noticeable dent in your armor. So I would suggest that if you're in a professional environment, you would try not to use such words. In terms of a challenge, Achyuta, I would challenge you to match your facial expressions with the words coming out of your mouth. So this was especially noticeable when you started describing the symptoms like a dry mouth and things like that. So at that time, I thought that your facial expression was not in congruency with the symptoms that you were describing. The last point that I would like to make is that I think use of a headset, probably slightly better lighting and a better camera placement can really make a lot of difference to the whole online environment. So I'd like to conclude by saying thank you, Achyuta, for addressing glossophobia, and I hope you can slide over its glossy surfaces in your future speeches. Good luck to you. Over to you, Mr. G.
Thank you, Abhay, for that wonderful evaluation. Adding to what Toastmaster Abhay mentioned, I would also suggest the speakers never say sorry when you miss a speech, something in your speech. I think that is a mistake most of us do, and try to correct ourselves. During Achyuta's speech, I also noticed suddenly Sanjay Rao, our timekeeper, coming, sharing the screen with colors. I was a bit confused. Then it was a learning moment of learning for me, because probably I, as a G, should have called the time keeper first and asked him to talk about how he's going to share the screen. And it will not take people by surprise. Or maybe the Sergeant at Arms could mention how timer will be talking about his screen. That is a learning for me, and I'll be correcting myself in my next assignment also. But well done, Toastmaster Achyuta. It was a fantastic speech. I really loved your speech. Give her a big round of applause for. Then came Toastmaster Pavitra, speaking about her introduction, and she was being evaluated by Toastmaster Karthik Nag. I request Karthik to do the evaluation of Toastmaster Pavitra's speech. Over to Toastmaster Karthik Nag.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmasters, and dear guests. Toastmaster Pavitra in particular. First of all, congratulations on your icebreaker speech. And thank you for such an interesting speech that told a lot about you. You had quickly briefed about your birthplace, places where you live, where you work, and within the first couple of minutes, and took us over major markers of your life. Well done. So you were really clear on what you wanted to pursue, which was law studies, and how you applied your willpower in your life in number of instances in dealing with something major like OCD. Great, finally, initially the voice was a little low, and also there was a slight disturbance, but however you paused and carried on really well. Overall it was a great speech, and you ended with a powerful reminder on something like a mental health problems. And finally, congratulations on your icebreaker speech, and I would like to hear more speeches from you in the future. Thank you. Over to you, General.
Thank you, Karthik, for that evaluation. Adding to what Karthik was talking, Toastmaster Pavitra, you did very well introducing yourself to the club members. And what is more interesting to note is that you are composed even when you're talking about the loss of your mother. That's a very important and very sensation. It's a very emotional moment. But you managed to sail through the speech very well. I congratulate you on completing this first project. And to the committee, I would say, when she was talking about such an emotional moment, again, I saw a message flashing on the screen, which diverted her attention also and our attention. I again request the committee to not to, announce anything when a speaker is speaking on an online meeting. We don't do in an offline meeting. But well done, Pavitra. Give her a big round of applause. Next, we had Toastmaster Kamlish, who is being evaluated by DTM Rajdeep. I request DTM Rajdeep to do the evaluation on Kamlesh's speech.
Am I audible, sir? Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator, and Kamlesh in particular. There's a beautiful saying which goes, for a great life, you need a great attitude. And the greatest attitude is the attitude of gratitude. And you symbolized that today, Kamlesh, with a wonderful speech, giving tribute and gratitude to all your mentors. So let me say what you did exceptionally well today in this speech. One, the sincerity. You were very sincere with your gratitude to all your mentors, whether it was your father, whether it was Manoj, or whether it was Robinson sir. It was evident in your speech that you had that emotional connect with them, and that stood out in your speech. The second was the simplicity. You brought out the simplicity of your speech by giving three very separate incidents. So it was simple for us to understand that you learnt values from your father, you learnt the knowledge from your friend Manoj, and you learnt how to pronounce well from Robinson. So the simplicity was actually brought out by situations, because it's very easy to simplify your speech when you bring out situations and incidents. So these two things stood out brilliantly: your sincerity, your simplicity, which was brought out by situations. Now, what do you have to improve on, Kamlesh? Now, remember that whenever you create a good speech, there should be a little bit of drama. And how do you bring out this drama is by dialogue. So you should have told the dialogue, when the man came to my father and he said, "Why don't you buy unadulterated oil? You'll make a lot of money." My father said, "Get out of this place. I don't want you to." When my father shouted that day, I learned that it is not enough for us to earn money. It is enough for us to earn values and ethics. So learn those dialogues. Oh, when Robinson sir, whenever you're going to Coven Park, please read out this. You would have read out 2 or 3 lines of my experiments with truth and how you were before and how you were now. And that would have added so much drama and intrigue to your speech. So bring about that drama. And the second thing is, whenever a good speech is delivered, it has to reach the destination. The destination is what is the take-home message for all the participants who are listening to you. So you could have ended, "I have learned from my mentors that ethics and values are very important, that helping hand and gaining knowledge is very important, that if you want to strive for something, we need to practice on it on a daily basis." And that would have been the learning which you had given to us. But besides that, for your simplicity, sincerity, and for your emotion of gratitude and a wonderful sense of commitment to this journey, Kamlesh, you deserve a big round of applause. Looking forward to more speeches from your side.
Thank you, Rajdeep. And of course, TM Kamlesh, it's very difficult to come up to the expectations of TM Rajdeep. He sets very high standards, and there's a lot of learning points in what suggestions he gives. One thing I was very interested in your speech when I noticed that you do have a very good storytelling skill. When you talked about your neighborhood police coming and all that. Of course, as Rajdeep said, if you had done a little bit of action and drama, it would have added the spice. But it grabbed my attention. And also when you talked about Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza, you speaking on the phone and him correcting over the phone. It also, I was reminiscing my good old days with him when he was mentoring. The visual mental pictures you're able to bring in the audience, that's a very great skill. I think you must build upon this potential what you have. Very well spoken, good speech. Give a big round of applause to TM Kamlesh.
Thank you, sir.
Now, coming to Toastmaster Vishal on the table topics. Vishal, you did a wonderful job. You took 36 minutes and you covered the 17 members and also guests. In the meantime, the voting link has been opened up in our group, and the code is 12345. Members can vote for the best evaluator. Vishal, your topics were wide variety of topics, and they were not intimidating. That's the best part of any table topic speaker when he gives a topic, and it encourages members to speak. And the moment members know that the trend of the topics is simple, everybody get a confidence, and that is a very good skill of a table topic master. You did that very well. You covered so many different topics, and even the members did very well by bringing, they're trying their best to talk about the topic. I was very happy when Toastmaster Guru Prasad, for example, when he was asked what he missed about a pre-corona period, he ended the speech talking generally, not without any specifics, but he had the courage to talk generally. And Toastmaster Teresa, when she was talking about the rain, she was describing the smell of the mud, the cloud movement, and very well done. I mean, there's a lot of things I could learn from her. Nazneen, of course, she talked about choosing to be original in this world and in this world of pretext. So wonderfully done. And guests also took the courage to speak. So all kudos to our table topic master Vishal. Well done. Keep it up and give a big round of applause to Vishal too. Now, before I come to the Toastmaster of the day, let me call my Tag L team for their reports. I request timer Toastmaster Sanjay to give his report for today's meeting.
Thank you, General Evaluator Nitin. So I'll be taking few names who have overshot. Toastmaster Pavitra overshot by 1 minute 37 seconds. And Toastmaster Alan, Toastmaster Sudipto, Toastmaster Amit MS, and TMOD took 13 minutes 48 seconds. Ayapa took 4 minutes 47 seconds. Shabari took 2 minutes 18 seconds. And one observation that I had is Toastmaster Kamlish took less than his load time limit, which is 5 minutes. He took minutes 47 seconds to finish his speech. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjay. Now I request Toastmaster Priyanka to give a counter report.
Hi all. I have made a note of few clutch and filler words during the meeting, and here is the report. Achyuta, 2 short pauses and 1 long pause. Toastmaster Pavitra, your repetitive word is and. Toastmaster Alan, the clutch word you use a lot is and the repetitive word is and. Toastmaster Sudipto, the clutch word is and the repetitive word is you and so, you know and so. Toastmaster Amit, the clutch word is that you use a lot, and the repetitive word is and you know. Toastmaster Nitin, sir, the clutch word you use a lot is Toastmaster Abhay, the repetitive word you use is you know. Toastmaster Karthik Nag, the clutch word is that you use quite a lot, and repetitive word is and. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. I think next time when I do the GA, I will call you first and then I will give a speech because I do a lot of in between my speeches. And let me call upon grammarian Toastmaster Hannah.
Yes, thank you so much. As usual, it was an absolute pleasure to listen to all of you. The good usages of the English language, some of them are batted with a tail ender, grown in leaps and bounds, known for his eloquence on stage, a feeling of rush, practice makes perfect, art of negating, important markers of my life, finest speakers in the making. Take the opportunity to salute them, pouring cats and dogs, slide over the glossy surfaces, sail through the speech, attitude of gratitude. And the not so good usage is some of them are make money like anything, could be made a lot of money. Give us questions, can be ask us questions. Icing in the cake is actually icing on the cake. And engineering, singular and plural, is engineering. It is not engineerings. Yes, and the word of the day was used by Ayappa, Sudipto, Nitin twice, and Nagesh once. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Nitin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hannah. Now I request listener Toastmaster George to take over.
Yeah, thank you, General Evaluator. Uh, when 3 days before, when it was asked for me which role you want to take, there was no iota of doubt. I wanted to take listener. The reason behind that was like last week, we had a big hangama in my house because whenever my wife speaks and when we go for walking and she speaks, I normally tells, yes, yes, that has been my muscle memory and never respond her. And during that day, unfortunately, she asked me to bring a dish for next day, which is her favorite. I forgot, and next day, you know what has happened. So I wanted to, more than professional life, I want to save from my wife. So I thought I'll be a good listener today and increase that virtue. So I jotted down few questions to check if everyone were listening along with me. So I'll start with first one. Okay. So first one goes like this. What Shabri looks forward when he goes to his hometown, which is Kerala?
Fish curry.
Fish.
Spending time with his family.
Fish. Fish that his grandmother
Yeah.
makes.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Nazneen. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So good. So second, from Achut, uh, the more you do it, the more you are able to overcome that phobia. What does it called? Definition.
Claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia.
Desensitization.
Yes.
Claustrophobia.
Correct. Desensitization. Of course. Yeah. You're right. So third question, what was Pavitra was very clear in pursuing?
Law.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Good. So where did she pursue it? Just add up
Mysore.
on that.
NLSIU, National Law School, Jodhpur.
NLU, Jodhpur. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. You're right. It's in Jodhpur. Okay. So coming to Kamlesh Kumar, who was the first mentor to Kamlesh Kumar?
His father.
Continuing that question.
Father.
His
Exactly.
father.
So what were the three virtues or traits his father taught him? Bit
Simplicity,
tricky. It's bit
honesty.
Integrity.
Integrity.
yes, partially right. It's
Honesty.
all starts with
Honesty.
H, honesty, humility, and hard work. Yeah, right. Okay. So next one. What best food Suma likes?
Rasmalai.
Raskadam.
No,
Kadam.
exactly, Anna. Yes, madam. Yeah, you're right. So coming to Sudipto sir, what Sudipto sir likes to he was playing in his
Soccer.
young age.
Soccer.
Exactly. Superb. So not hold on you more. So last one. What is DTM Teresa madam favorite weather? I think it was
Rainy.
couple of times
Rainy.
repeated.
Rainy weather.
Here goes on. Lovely. So thank you everyone. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, George, for that wonderful session. So let's give a big round of applause for the Tag L team, Sanjay, Priyanka, Anna, and George. Now, coming to the most important role of the day, EMOD, which was handled by Vaidya. Vaidya is always, I always love to listen to Vaidya because a couple of things. One is your voice and your command over the language and the vocabulary and your voice modulations. It's so interesting to listen to your speech. I just love listening to it. And you just take the audience by storm, whether it's a personal meeting or even an online meeting. Uh, I found the effectiveness to be the same, Vaidya. Well done. Keep it up. You did a good job by linking the summer to your IPL. I could not have expected anything better because you being a cricket lover was bound to speak about cricket whenever an opportunity comes. You did a very good job talking about Lakshman and how he, as a leader, helped India by encouraging Ishant. Well done. and even the speeches, you did a very good transition from one speech to another. That's an art which you have developed. Thank you very much. It was nice. I was privileged to hear to your speech. And also, of course, now, I mean, I have nothing more to suggest for your improvement. One suggestion to the president here is, when you were entrusted with the task of announcing the release of the newsletter. Now, releasing a newsletter, as a president, I would have been happy if the president does it, because that's where the president shows the leadership skills, bring his team forward and say, this is done by this is done by that, such a team. But president was interjecting in between Toastmaster Vaidyanathan's role and saying that he has done well. That could have been avoided. So next time onwards, when there is an important announcement by the committee, by the club, I would be happy if the president does it either in the beginning or at the end of the meeting. That would be well. But Toastmaster Vaidya, you are a person to watch. Toastmaster fraternity has to look out for this person, and I wish you start also participating in contests more and more at a district level and international. I'm sure you will make wonders. Thank you, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, for that wonderful session, and handing it over back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Nitin, and the tag team and the listener. I think they deserve a very big round of applause for the spot-on evaluation and the wonderful role that they had played in terms of noting down each and everything that we have done in the last 2 hours. A round of applause to the tag team and the General Evaluator. And now the voting link has been shared in our WhatsApp group, and the voting code is again going to be, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can choose the best role taker for the day. And with that, let me thank the committee members for giving me an opportunity. In fact, it was a pleasure being a Toastmaster of the day for today's session. And thank you, Mr. President and the Vice President Education. I would have loved, in fact, if it is a offline meeting, getting onto the stage and then speaking in front of a large audience, but considering the scenario that we are in, I think this is the best alternative that we can ever have. So thank you very much for posing that and much needed confidence and giving me this particular role. So now it's over to the president of the day, the glittering personality of Bangalore Toastmasters, Toastmaster Ayappa. It's over to our president, Toastmaster Ayappa.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, for taking us through this evening. It was brilliant, for the brilliant job done. Let's give Toastmaster Vaidyanathan a good round of applause. Let us give a good round of applause to our General Evaluator Toastmaster Nitin and all the speakers, role takers. Let's unmute and give a good round of applause to all. A couple of announcements. Last week we presented our budget, and but due to lack of quorum, the budget was not passed. So we're planning to have one more session next week. So if provided the quorum is there, and I request all the members to present in large numbers so that we can pass the current term's budget. And another announcement is we have our Toastmaster Abhirama representing division contest this Sunday. I request all the members to participate in large numbers to cheer up our member and support him. So one more announcement, we have a contest, unique contest. We're going to have it on the 30th of this month. So focusing mainly on body language and voice modulation. There are more details will be sent out by our Vice President Education, Srijit. I think time to announce the awards. Best tag team player goes to Toastmaster Hannah Victoria. Best role taker goes to Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. Best evaluator goes to Distinguished Toastmaster Rajiv Banwani. And the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Achyuta. And the best speaker is backed by two speakers, that is Toastmaster Sudipto and Toastmaster, Distinguished Toastmaster Teresa. Let us unmute and give all the winners a good round of applause. That's it for now. With that note, I adjourn the meeting number 1266. Good night. Take care. Good weekend. Thank you.
Have a lovely weekend,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.